Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy StumpD back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're taking the new Super SUGO SNAKEMAN into Garbage Challenge Heavenly Demon 2 with a no-stall theme to showcase his amazing new mechanics that have been brought to the game with his captain ability. So that's the team, those are the supports, let's dive on in. Now, the thing with Luffy is he does have access to a lot of very, very good subs. Incredible subs. However, I did want to mainly showcase the power of Luffy's captain in getting his cooldowns back whenever a Straw Hat uses a special. So, I put Time Skip Nami on this particular team. The only reason that she's here is so that way we can actually use the Shiryu support on her for the poison removal, as well as utilizing her special to give back Luffy's special. Like, that's literally the only reason that we actually have her here. She can remove special binds, which actually comes in clutch later. We don't remove all the special bind, but we just use her special, and then we can actually showcase Luffy's captain ability to not only get the max special cooldown with his captain ability whenever a Straw Hat or a Shanks character uses a special, but he can also remove special bind on himself. Now, I don't really see that special bind on himself removal being like super useful or being like the go-to mechanic when it comes to utilizing this Luffy. Obviously, getting the max cooldowns, that's going to be his big gimmick, and that's going to be the best time, like the best thing that you see from this particular Luffy is getting his special ready to go with the strats. Now, obviously, it will only work 5 times within a run. So doing a run like Heavenly Demon 2, you do have to be kind of cautious how often you use it and what Luffys you are actually popping. But once you do use it after the 3rd time, you will get an attack and an orb boost. So it's very, very powerful. He's a 3.25 times attack boost to Psy, fighters, and free spirit characters. If you have an attack boost, he's an orb booster. If you have an attack and an orb boost, he increases them by 0.25. Very, very strong special ability. If you can go like bink, bink, bink with Luffy, like you do a lot of damage. And he basically just covers all your damage output for the team. Unlike Uta though, like it's a little bit harder to use. Where Uta's is kind of like you just pop it and then for the next 3 turns you just have like almighty buffs. Luffy, you kind of have to plan the team accordingly. You have to sort of just plan out what you're actually doing. But when it does like work, it works really, really well. I'm not going to lie though, I haven't been super blown away with this particular Luffy per se. Now, obviously, this particular team you see here is not him in his best scenario. And he still did it very comfortably, no stalling. And he's still a very, very powerful unit. However, when I first read this guy's kit, mainly his captain ability where he gives himself cooldowns, I was a little bit more blown away on paper than what I am actually utilizing him in game. Not at all do I think he's bad. I just haven't seen that sort of like wow that I initially thought when I first read his kit. His captain ability though is a 5 times captain to Psy, free spirit, and fighter characters, which is very strong. 5 times captain. It's identical to Treasure Map Sanjis, the Mugiwara 56 Sanjis, and it's very, very powerful. When you use his special, he becomes a 5.5 times captain, and obviously he's a Psy super type. So with Psy characters on your team, if you build a mono Psy based team, you're a 6 times captain when you're taking on any Psy enemy, which is very, very strong. Unlike Shanks though, Shanks has that ability to sort of manipulate the enemy into the type that you need them to be, which is strength, so that way you get that 6 times captain. Obviously without full immunity, we all know the discrepancy there when it comes to Shanks. But with Luffy, if you are taking on in content, he is going to be very, very strong. He's all your damage, but that's basically all he provides, which is kind of sucky in my opinion. The reason that I think it's kind of sucky is that he doesn't give any damage reduction, he doesn't give any HP. Not giving HP is the big one. Now, obviously, with the whale sort of level of break stuff, we can still sit around 40,000 HP with 2 Luffys, which is a lot of HP. Like, not like these days, but like back in the day, 40,000 HP was plenty to get this type of content done anyway. So it's not the end of the world, but not having a HP buff is just kind of so odd in 2022. Not even like if it's a low HP buff or anything, it's just kind of surprising. On top of that, Luffy doesn't give any damage reduction or any healing, so that's normally where they make up for like a lower HP or a no HP buff when it comes to these particular units. So if Luffy gets hit hard by like a death hit or something like that, you do have to be cautious of how much HP you have, or bring a unit that can give you some sort of damage reduction effect. Something like Legend Brook would work really well because he's a big damage reduction. He can give a chain boost and he's a Brook, so he triggers that Luffy ability. But other than all of Luffy's damage potential, that's basically all he does. And when a unit has so much damage potential, I really like him to be like a speed-based captain. And when that happens, you sort of really need cooldowns for that said unit to be as fast or reach their their potential of what you want them to be doing with all that damage output. Unfortunately, Luffy doesn't even have that. He doesn't have any cooldowns for the crew. Yes, he has that amazing ability that gives him max cooldown whenever a Sailor, Straw Hat, or Shanks uses a special, but they still need their specials. They still need to get their cooldown. Now, yes, all of the new rare recruits that came out with this Luffy have a very low cooldown at 6 turns, and obviously stuff like Time Skip Nami has a very low cooldown as well. Whilst that's great, you still need to get them to their point where they use their special. You still need to tailor your team around the content, and the Sailors that you are using have to A, be Straw Hats or Shanks, B, fit the Psy, Fighter, or Free Spirit tag, and C, be good at taking down the actual content. So it's a bit of an interesting one with Luffy. When you build the teams and you have a plethora of those units in your box, it can work very, very nicely. And obviously with his super type as well, he gives 2 turns of cooldowns to your Sailors, which is great. So that way you can get your cooldowns faster. You get 4 turns of cooldowns with your super type, but it actually doesn't affect Luffy, which is a bit of a bummer to me. Whilst yes, I agree, like obviously like it's tailored around getting your Sailors to their cooldowns, so then you can just give Luffy his cooldowns. It's still a little bit annoying that Luffy doesn't really do that. His super type, it's kind of like, it's good because of all the cooldowns, but it's nothing crazy. But the big gimmick with this guy is just getting his specials back every single turn whenever a Straw Hat uses his special. And as you guys have seen here, like especially on this turn here when we use the Nami to remove 2 turns of special binds, literally to then remove all the special bind on our Luffy captains, so that way we can start binking our Luffy specials once again to take out Diamante. It can work really, really well, and he's been a very fun unit. However, if you're a newer player and you don't have a very established box, I would not chase this guy. Let this guy come to you on the next Sugo Fest banner. Go after something like Uta. Uta Part 1, I still think is the best place to summon for this Film Red celebration. I think Uta is by far the best legend to come out of this whole celebration. Then something like Lucky Ruben Beckman and Usopp Yasop after that. They're both very, very good as well, but they're both regular legends. So chase Uta if you are chasing one of the Super Sugos. I would have loved to have seen a Giga Chad Shanks, as you guys know, but the Shanks we got is the Shanks we have. And this Luffy, whilst I really love like this special animation, and I love what they're implementing with this said new captain ability that gives cooldowns whenever like particular characters use their specials, it is kind of restricting the team building and sort of getting them to do it for us, or putting an idea in our head, so we have to build it around those particular characters. You need 2 Straw Hats or Shanks on Luffy's team to get his super type as well, so you're pretty much looking at putting them on the team anyway to satisfy that super type condition. But all in all, he's very, very good, and as long as you don't take hits and you have characters that can manipulate your orbs and stuff like that, namely stuff like Ace Sabo and some of these other Straw Hat characters, then you are going to be in good stead to actually take down very hard content. The final thing I want to talk about is Luffy's final tap. Now, Luffy's final tap really is not that great. Like, it's not that fantastic. It does damage to all enemies and gives him base attack that can stack with any other buff in the game. So if you have something like Sabo, the support Sabo, like Luffy can hit really, really hard. But in this instant, I really wanted to try and actually showcase off that like damage that hits everyone. So I actually like tried to restrict my buffs and with my team building to actually allow Luffy to hit both the Doflamingos here, get the kill with his final tap, say Bob's your uncle, see you later, and call it a day. So there you guys go. That is the first of the Luffy Super Snake Man showcases against Heavenly Demon 2 No Stall. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, belt the like button. If you're new, hit that big red subscribe button. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Later!